Hello, Flint. Where'd he go?
God damn it, Flint! I think we're gonna go get booze.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
Sorry, guys. I had to take Milo out.
With Otis?
He was giving me a poopy face all of a sudden.
What is
Hello,
Milo?
everyone.
What is Milo?
Milo's his dog.
Is it a
there was a
pug?
cat.
No. Milo and Otis was a cat.
Yeah,
Milo is definitely a dog.
I have Otis. I have a pug. His name's Otis.
Aww.
Aw. Hi, everybody. Yeah, tonight we got stuff to talk. Oh, look at him. Otis.
That's adorable.
He's very cute. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to StarCast. We have shit to talk about that's actually not vapid. I don't know. In the background, I'm going to be playing a game called StarCitizen, and I will be flying a ship in said game outside of a bubble.
I see you get to play.
I'm gonna play.
No, Flint, you cannot play.
I see how it is.
Bad Flint.
Bad Flint.
I'm not playing right now. My joystick isn't right in front of me.
It's between your legs. Nobody's telling anybody.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. StarCitizen. Tonight we have Biogen. How you doing, Biogen? Berserker.
Hello.
Clifford and Flint. And
Ahoy, matey!
Ahoy! We're late because of Flint. Trollolololo. So real quick before we get going too much, tonight we're gonna have mostly shit to talk about that's real, which is interesting, and we're going to first though we're gonna talk about the PTU opening up to everybody. So what do you guys think about that? They're gonna allow another 50,000 people in. According
They've already allowed another 50,000.
So excited.
Yeah, and we're feeling it.
All of my Mustangs out for a ride.
Yeah, same here. I'm excited to actually try ships that are not the Avenger.
I have every single Mustang, and I've been dying to take them for a spin for over a week now.
Every single Mustang?
Every
Yes.
single one.
Everyone ever made?
Every single one.
They're all equally glitchy
All
right
of
now,
them.
just so you know.
Yes. They're all equally weak as well.
Yeah, well, I equally think the Delta is the most hardest one to get into because every time I pop in it, I end up, if you don't press F quickly to get in the chair, you'll pop out the roof and fall out.
Yep.
Or the Constellation, where when you ride up the elevator, you fall right to the floor if you walk forward too fast. Hey, yes. Gio's here. Oh, too bad, Gio. Go away.
You can call in, Gio.
Yeah. Gio, you can call in like every other scrub.
Peons. The Gio actually managed to get some playtime in 2.0, I heard.
That's fantastic. I'm happy for him.
So both gray-headed gamer and Gio were playing this game at some point. So.
Well, some other people have been picking up some other non-Star Citizen-y types. Well, those guys are Star Citizen types, but so it's good. It's I think we were talking about this offline before the show started. Is that rising water raises all boats, right? And a lot of people are starting to see some success from Star Citizen, streamer-wise. So I think it's really good.
I think it's going to die down a little bit in terms of viewership after 2.0 goes live because people. But however, I will say, and this is I know we want to limit some of this Twitch talk a little bit, but I will say that there are definitely people now on Twitch who are starting to look at Star Citizen, streamers and viewers who are seeing the potential of Star Citizen, who either didn't know about Star Citizen or just kind of were not that interested, and they're starting to see the numbers come in and starting to see the game and are like, this game is real. This game is awesome, you know?
I do have to agree that it does appear that Star Citizen is starting to finally get a lot more traction in the public discourse. People are taking it very seriously.
Yeah, and privately in discussions with the streamers as well, I've sold quite a few now on the concept of Star Citizen, which is good. And that's what we do. We're influencers. We're showing people the truth of Star Citizen.
The truth, not the bullshit.
You can stow away aboard someone else's ship.
Shoot him in the face.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's vaporware. I don't know
It's a scam. Scam confirmed. Derek Smart.
It's kind of hilarious, and somebody, because I kind of not paid attention to the guy anymore, because it's old news, but it's so funny. People were saying, here's Horizon, see, it's all broken and stuff. I'm like, does he know that this isn't even alpha, that this is like for just testing purposes for bugs, really?
And that this is less broken than his own game.
Yeah,
well, that's because his own game didn't have an alpha or beta. The release is its alpha.
Can I make one comment about that?
Oh God, here we go. Go ahead.
Okay. Line of defense tactics, tactical advantage. Who the fuck named this? Who came up with that?
It probably was an acronym for something inciting.
Captain Flint just left his chair. He was just like, I can't.
I'll have no part of those discussions because otherwise I'll have my Twitch career limited conversation rant right now.
That's fair. That's all I wanted to say. I'm not talking about the content.
Let's move on to more Star Citizen stuff. Yes.
Yeah. That's fine.
Now, I would ask those to say, I know a lot of us have a chance to either steal or fly our own ships. What ships has everyone here actually managed to fly, and which feels the best for them? You know,
the best, the one I'll pop in first here because I'm trying to get this running in the background. For me, the Mustang was the best. It was easiest to get in and out of when I had to do EVAs. It was very maneuverable. I loved the Constellation. It was just the Constellation was the glitchiest for me, so it was hardest to actually just enjoy. But the Mustang was my go-to ship. Every time I loaded up, I'd go with the Mustang. I'll probably do that here in a little bit once I get this fixed. So yeah, that's for me. Go ahead. Next.
I only had any experience with the Hornet because I actually my account doesn't have access, so I've been using a friend's account, and he has the 325A. With the interior is buggy, so half the time you get jettisoned outside of it, which is unfortunate. And then the Aurora MR, which I never took for a spin because why? And then the F7 CM. So I took the Hornet out. It works. It seems to work okay.
Go ahead there, Clifford. Go ahead.
I have access to all the flyable ships. The ones that
all of them
I liked the most was that I found it easy to get in and out of real quickly is the Vandal Scythe and the Glaive. Both of those I've flied constantly, and both of those seem to be indestructible at the moment. At one point, it's like when I'm going to FPS at the station, I can ram directly in it, get out, be fine. But if you raise up real quickly and hit the top of it, it'll totally obliterate the ship. But I can ram it going full speed. 1400, and I'll just sit there and bounce back and not even do any damage to it. So is
that the blades working? Because
yes, the blades are working.
Sturdy.
Yeah,
it's actually a bug now that if you hit the cockpit or the top of the ships of all the ships, you can actually just even tap the top of the ships. It's an insta death.
Gotcha.
I experienced that actually. I tapped something. I hit it. It was kind of hard, but it wasn't super hard, and then it just.
Wait a second.
Going 20 meters per second. You just
hold on a second. A wild Trendane has been spotted.
Oh, Trendane. Hello, Trendane.
Hello, Trendane.
We miss you.
Yes.
Hello, Trendane.
Come back to us.
Come back, Trendane. I have heard some wandering. I've heard some really strange random rumors that Trendane might actually have some free time coming up. Just saying.
Oh,
no way.
Just saying.
I distinctly remember the first time I ever saw Trendane. I complimented him on his awesome voices, and I wanted to see him do more with that in voice acting because they were phenomenal, and I still feel that way.
He does do voice acting. He's doing a couple of games.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, he's done a lot of books. Currently him working at Capcom should be rounded up pretty soon. And we had some intimate discussions with him.
Intimate.
Yeah. Trendane knows I'm a fan. And he complimented me when I get up out of my chair and walk away. He likes to look at my backside. So,
What are you going there for? Why did you do that? All right. So, real quick question. Somebody in the audience just asked when can they get in? And I can't get in right now. No, but the
that's what she said.
Giggity. It's 50,000 more people have just been invited to Zverse.
Based on your citizens number.
Yeah, it's based on your citizen number. Before it was based on the number of times you with the issue council or how much you played Arena Commander. Now it's not that anymore. It's going off of your citizen number. So first ones in will be the first people from the early days.
Mm-hmm. So, and I would expect there's going to be a patch on Monday, and I expect that patch will include more people. Now, it is not guaranteed, but it is the way that they've been patching things and how fast they move. I would expect them to be increasing that number fairly shortly. If not by Monday, then early in the week, next week. So
once they get stable enough, though, they're just going to push it live.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
The problem right now is that the number of people who've been added has destroyed the servers.
Yeah. You keep adding people until the servers stop breaking, I think.
Well, that's the other thing is I noticed, right, they must be doing something now because I can't get into an instance. Usually I can get in and, play around a little bit before it crashes.
It's still hit or miss. I spend around 15 minutes trying to get in, up to 30 minutes trying to get in, and then once I'm in, I get to play for like 20, 30 minutes, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. The other day, my record... Okay, let's go around the room real quick. What's your records? Mine was 51 minutes and 80 seconds. 51 minutes and like 8 seconds, something like that.
70 minutes.
70?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Damn.
That's the session where I thought I might have actually shot Chris Roberts in the face.
How do you know it's Chris Roberts?
Because he mentioned a couple things that he played in an hour, and which was the same hour that Baron and I were both playing in the same server. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned that he got shot in the face twice during that hour at the security station.
That's a good place to shoot.
I shot at least one person in the face as they were coming out, and they was the kind of like, I kind of don't know what I'm doing, and he didn't see me. I kind of hid in the corner as the door opened, and then the airlock opened. I just opened up with my pistol and killed them.
I did the same exact thing. Maybe it was me.
So, did it happen to you? Because
no, I shot somebody in the face on the station. I think it's just a great place to shoot faces. Is the station?
It is a great place to shoot faces. The station, but it just happened to be like at the same time when he was doing that. Like he said, he played over an hour on StarCitizen, and it happened. So it was like, I may or may not have shot Chris Roberts in the face.
Yeah, Zeus and Nexia is saying his alternate account got access, and he had 0 minutes in the game, no bug reports, no game packages, and a citizen of over 700K.
There is some oddness.
There's some weird, some weird things that happened.
My wife's account has access, but it's because because my wife doesn't actually play the game yet. She's waiting for more content to come out. But when my account was corrupted back in August, I played my wife's account for a 24-hour live stream. So I played like 16 hours plus the normal like a week afterwards until my account was fixed. I played something probably like 30 hours of StarCitizen, and that got her account access to the PTU for the social module in like the first or second wave. So I was able to get into the PTU and mess around with the PTU with her account, but I wasn't. My personal account wasn't able to do it, even though I had more hours, collectively on my other account.
Well, it's like I had access to social module, and I barely played StarCitizen.
Yeah, so I now suddenly my wife's account has access. We got second wave access to the 2.0, and I have no idea why. I'm guessing the only reason why is because of her access during PTU of the social module.
So my longest record is 46 minutes and 15 seconds.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, mine was about the same as yours, Delma. Mine was about an hour, a little bit more at one time. And that was a lot of fun because I actually did some FPS, died about 2 or 3 times, got to go to the meteor area. So it was pretty fun.
Real quick reminder, we have a giveaway tonight donated by Clifford. He's giving away a starter package. Thank you, Clifford. Being so awesome. We're giving away a Wawa starter package. Also, if you guys have any questions for the cast tonight, we will do our best to answer them in a little while. We're not actually going to talk about as much news. We're going to go right into questions because we have a lot of experience now. I know I've got about 35 or 40 hours streaming StarCitizen already since the PTU came out. And a lot of you guys...
I don't get to answer any questions.
What's that?
You've skipped over me twice now in the question rounds. I'm kind of sad.
Oh, really?
What is your long list?
I thought you answered already. What's your longest?
No, I didn't answer about the ships. Didn't answer about the length of time. I'm being put out now.
All right, listen. All right. I'm sorry, Captain Flint. What is your longest ship, and how much time do you own?
Okay, so we lasted about an hour.
Okay.
Today we didn't time it, but it felt like a long time. It was like the whole start to finish of a mission with some messing around beforehand, and also derping around with another guy who just happened to be doing exactly the same mission at the same time, and we were like trying to figure out because the mission was bugged. We were floating around trying to figure it out together, and then started the second mission. So it was a good hour block.
That's awesome.
And the rest around about 20, 30 minutes, which is pretty solid. As for ships, so I flew the M50, which is glorious, and I almost beat, before a crash, a Super Hornet in a dogfight with it. It was glorious. Flown the Mustang Alpha, which I stole from someone, Mustang Beta, which I own, Hornet, which I have a loaner of, Constellation, and the Avenger Titan, which is great, but it's a pain to get into in EVA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the hardest ship to EVA into, other than the multi-crew ships.
Which one?
I find it a lot easier in third person.
Which one?
The Avenger.
Oh yeah, the Avenger's a pain in the balls. They got to fix that door thing because it's always been sort of squatty. You know, you got to like duck your head down to get in, and in space it just is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense. I think apparently that the ability to get in through the cockpit, just going into the cockpit, is available in all of the Avengers, but they disabled it for 2 of them because of a bug issue that they're having. So I'm guessing it was a bug that they had with EVA stuff.
It's not a bug.
They shouldn't be only one entrance and exit out of a ship ever.
No, I mean, there's 2 on all of them, and like you say, it's turned off. It's not because of the bug, it's because they currently have no mechanism to decide which way you get out of the seat. It's only control F to exit the seat. So right now, it's either you exit out through the front or you exit out through the back, and they can't differentiate that. So until they've put in some control mechanism to do that, they can't actually enable both exit mechanisms.
Gotcha.
That's something that they need to figure out as well, because there's the issue of when you're in the Reliant, I think it is. What's the ship that has you've got the big cargo hold with the toilet and extra seating, and then you have like 2 buttons on the right side and 1 button on the left.
Oh, that's the Cutlass.
The Cutlass, yeah.
Cutlass, yeah. You got to open the door, and it's like a pain in the ass to try and open the door specifically because you might accidentally open a hatch or sit down or pull out the turret or something.
Yeah.
It's a mechanic that definitely needs to happen at some point.
Stockist flies a Portaloo. They call me Dr. Poo Poo. There's another longtime guest and host of the show, started Stockist and Trendane. Both of them here in the chat tonight. Thanks for coming, guys. Love to have both of you guys back on at some point. You know,
at some point.
Giggity. Yeah. So right now I'm just running around. I'm gonna run around my hangar because every time I try to go into the main game, it's pooping out. A live Stockist has appeared.
On the positive side, the hangar I have access to has a Retaliator in it. That is my favorite ship right now.
You gonna buy one?
No, because I'm poor. But
is that a base or is it the torpedo variant? Do you know?
The bomber.
Have you flown it yet?
No.
Why?
I can't. I can't get it out. I can't
get it up.
You can't get it out, gents.
You can't call it. You can't call it on the.
No, it's not.
In that case, it's a base.
Is it? Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, the base, because it has no modules in it, is essentially a non-ship until you add the modules.
I see. Well, it's the perfect multi-crew ship for me with 7, designed for 7 people. That's amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? They did show in the hangar. You could at least look at the Vanguard, or at least one iteration of the Vanguard, because that's not the final, deal. They just wanted to get it in there and kind of show it off to people.
Gray box. No, white box. Sorry, white box.
Yeah.
Who's typing? What is that?
It's you.
It is not me.
We all had hands up, and it's still.
We've all got hands up. It can't be any of us.
Who's typing with their dick?
That's a skill I do not have.
It takes a long time.
Look,
It's my wife. It's the typing you're hearing is my wife. She's in the background.
Oh, she's definitely not typing with your
Mystery
dick.
solved.
Yeah. It's a ghost.
It's
No,
a ghost.
no one.
Casper.
No, you're good. You're
no,
good.
No, it's not that. The thing I'm typing. People are celebrating the shooter in Colorado
That's bad.
because he hit up a Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
Screw
God.
people.
People
Yeah.
suck. That's why we live in video games, because they're not real people.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Anyway, so what's okay? I guess we can get started with
Going to a hut on an abandoned island, and I'm not looking at people anymore.
Sounds fair.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
friends with turtles and birds.
can't hear you, Domo.
You preach it, girl. You preach it.
She can't
Just
hear me.
bring her onto the camera, Zerk. Bring her onto the stream properly.
Say
Yeah,
hi.
let us say hi.
This is Mama Zerker.
Mama
it's,
Zerker.
it's Cam Dye. She's fiery. It's the best way of putting it.
That's
So-
the,
she ready?
yeah.
Oh, so the camera will catch fire?
yes. Yes.
Wow.
She will actually probably reach through and slap every one of you through the camera just because she feels like it. I don't know. She has that power.
No, she likes me. The rest of them, I don't care.
Okay, so let's see. I guess we can start working on our questions. So we're gonna have questions tonight, and if you guys want to call in, we have a number right over here. Phone lines are open. You can call in at any time. That's the number. And then it's going to ask you for the meeting password. You type in the meeting password, and then you can be on. You can ask a question or make a comment or something like that. And then we will do stuff with things and talk words and things.
Can I just say one thing?
You may say as many things as you would like to say.
Well, I'll just say this one thing for now, and then I'll say some more things for later because that's how I roll.
All right.
Wink, wink.
Such a tease.
Phones are open. Call in now. It's the funniest thing ever, and the fact that it works is phenomenal. Cheers to that.
Oh, when I first started doing StarCast, that was my initial intent. Actually, I was doing a podcast for EverQuest Next, and I always wanted it. And so I couldn't figure out how to do it. I was going to do it with multiple Skypes and multiple computers, and show you you're drinking tonight. But it never worked. And so when I found Zoom, and I was like, oh shit, it actually has a call-in number and it works. It's like the best, because there was a place I was actually paying. It was $1 a minute. And I was like, I figured it was only for every time somebody called in, it was free, but after the first minute, it charged $1. So I put in like $25 in that site. It's still sitting there. Nobody even put it there. What's Delron's going nuts? Deltron, are you using your dick to type on your keyboard again? I didn't see what he wrote because it just all got banned.
Just a bunch of spins.
He spins.
He's spinning with his dick.
He's trying to gamble.
Oh, is he? This is not You Spin Me Right Round. Meatspin.com. Everybody go to www.meatspin.com. See how many you can last, and then come back with your number. All right, let's get started here.
Vapidcast, back and forth.
Back and forth with Vapidcast. That's what we're known for. All right, so we are now at the 28th. So we're going to start here with Human Evil. What is your opinion of the latest forum rage that is SIG are lazy because they reuse some parts of Aegis ships to create the Vanguard? Do you think... Hold on a second, somebody's calling in.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold on 1 second, I got to pop up the call-in. Where's the call-in thing? Hold on.
Hello, caller.
Nope. Oh, no, that's not it.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, hold on.
Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hi,
Hello.
I'm trying to find the caller thing
Hello.
here. Yeah, hi.
Hey, how's it going? I'm calling as a non-believer of StarCitizen.
Oh, great.
Who are you, first off?
What's your name?
My name is Base LaRock. How's it going?
I thought I knew that voice.
How's it going? Well, I'll say that I'm not a non-believer anymore. Within the last 2 weeks, I've been warmed up to the game. But I have more questions than I have answers for at the moment regarding StarCitizen.
Feel free and ask them.
Yeah, ask away.
Well, right now I've never seen, and maybe it's because I've been out of the loop on StarCitizen, but I have seen more and more action as far as patches, gameplay, etc. from this game than I ever have. I think that's just because I've been paying attention to it more, doing a little bit more research to it. But the first question I have is that what do you think as far as steps that need to be taken for the general gaming, I would say public, to get a better view on what StarCitizen is? Meaning, the biggest opinion that a lot of people have is that it seems kind of shady, or the game's never coming out. What do you think that needs to be done to change that opinion?
Let me clarify real quick because I want to make sure I understand the question as well for everybody. Are you saying what does the public need to do, or what does anybody need to do in general?
I would say you guys, as far as casters or the people at StarCitizen, because I'll say this real quick. Captain Flint is mainly the reason why I'm paying attention to StarCitizen. I was opposed to StarCitizen, not a believer at all. And now watching Berserker and a few others have basically sold me on the game better than the marketing team so far for StarCitizen itself. So I think you guys would have a better answer to how this would be able to be shown to the general public or audience.
I will start off by saying right now it needs to be more finished.
Hold on 1 second. Got another caller. Hold on, caller. I'm going to mute you guys, and then we're going to answer. But we'll just hang in there, okay? All right, go ahead.
So what I'll say right off the bat is it needs to be more complete. What we have right now is great for people who have backed the game, who've been following the game, or people who've been on the fence about the game. But the game is nowhere near the feature complete that we would hope. When it gets closer to feature complete, probably somewhere around mid next year, when we have more than one planetary system, we have an entire star system, we have multiple star systems where you can jump through and you can explore, even just 3 or 4. Because Elite Dangerous started out very similarly. They had I think 50 systems or something like that in beta, and they eventually scaled up at launch to the 400 billion that we have now. But you needed to actually, explore those 50 systems so you can get an idea of how the game would play. Right now, what we get is a very small snippet of the game, and CIG themselves have even said that the mission system that's in the game, even when you can access it, the mission system itself is actually not the final mission system. It's a mission system that is sort of what they're going to go for, but it's not entirely everything. It's kind of a basis of it. We need to have more content, because the general gaming populace is or I'm going to be frank about this, are idiots. I mean, it's honest to God truth. The general population of gamers who don't do research. They don't do research by games. They don't really look into their own into their purchases. They usually buy an impulse, and they usually get very angry, which is why early access is dangerous for your general gamer, because people get really hyped on a game and then they buy it and then they have no idea what they bought it to. Yeah. So the game needs to be more complete so that people can see the game, what it's going to look like, and how everything's going to interact. See, more than just, hey, I'm going to fly around and shoot people, but the other aspects of the game as well. Yeah. That's what we need to see, probably not for another 6 months, before we start getting people, start to try to reach people in other genres of gaming or the general gaming.
Yeah. I mean, from the general population, though, I think just get yourself better informed. I mean, people generally... You got to bear in mind that aside from the stuff they do with the cons and all the money they put into actually delivering content to us as fans, they haven't spent a single dime on advertising marketing.
Well, they do for the commercials and shit. Those are pretty awesome commercials.
Yeah, but they could also.
But they're not going on
commercials.
They're not commercial commercials. They're just for us. Yeah, they're not Yeah.
They were testing out their cinematics and stuff.
They're Ron Paul commercials. They're on YouTube.
Yeah, but they weren't actually put out as marketing. They didn't spend a penny on actually getting the information out to the masses. Everything that StarCitizen is now is from word of mouth. It's from people who knew about the project, who told their friends, who told their friends, who told their friends,
and so on,
who told
and so
their
on,
groups and their communities. So if you haven't been in touch with someone who is a StarCitizen fan or someone who knows about StarCitizen, you're not going to be exposed to it. So it's easy to see the headlines and believe that it's being shady and they're not actually sharing much about development. But in reality, they put out 4 or 5 releases every week with various content showing what they're doing, exactly how they're doing it, showing updates. We've had multiple releases over the last couple of years. There's just... If you go back and try and read through all the content they've given us over the last 2 years,
it would take you years. It would take you
a couple books.
Just trying, just even trying. It's there. It's just people don't see it.
Yeah, and I would say that the patches thing is that CIG has this tradition where they don't patch very, very frequently until they drop a module. Once they drop a module, they start patching very frequently. Yeah. Usually, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly.
Let me poke my head in. Let me poke my head in here real quick. I think it did. The onus is a little bit on us as well. Because right now, because StarCitizen doesn't do any advertising, it is coming through mostly from streamers. Now, the issue with
why
typing in pretzels or potatoes. The issue is with up to this point, Arena Commander has been just a bubble, and all we've really had is this hangar that I'm walking around in right now, or Arena Commander, or a racing game. So it's not been very interesting to stream or play, and so a lot of people haven't really seen much about that as well. Yeah. More callers coming in. All right, thank you for the caller. I'm going to hang up on you. We're going to move on to another person, but either way, I think that it's working. It's just going to be a little bit of a slower process.
Yeah, and I think based on what the guy called in is actually the perfect example, because he was on the negative camp because he wasn't very exposed. He came to see me. He was informed. All I did was show him the game.
I think I want to add something really quick to it. As far as both the StarCitizen ambassadors, I would say, which are anybody in the community, whether they stream, create content, or just play the game, or even just talk about it, who have an intense desire to share the experience and to teach others about it. Their onus in this entire endeavor is probably going to be just a matter of being accurate with their information and helping to be transparent, because the biggest problem that I've seen with anybody who doesn't understand Star Citizen, who's even heard anything about it, either they haven't heard anything about it and that's itself a problem, and so there's no conversation, or they've had a conversation that's been negative because they didn't understand. But by simply exposing the level of transparency that we have with CIG, because we see it all the time as we follow it, it's very,
I think it's
very easy to create.
I mean, we had Disco Lando on the show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we had the community manager on a podcast, which is just a bunch of idiots getting drunk and talking about Star Citizen.
You guys,
But I think as far as ambassadors go, exposing people who like space games or even shooting games or just multiplayer games to the level of transparency that is Star Citizen is enough to get the ball rolling.
We also have to do this, guys, and this is for everybody here, is we need to keep reminding people this is a Kickstarter. And I've done this before. I've done it every time I stream this week, because I'd have somebody show up on my channel because I have a very diverse crowd. People don't normally know that I play Star Citizen as much as I did back in the day. So what the people are showing up, they're like, hey, Domo, what is this? Oh, I heard about Star Citizen. It's a scam because they're charging people $5,000
$200 ships,
ships.
And stuff like that.
And what they're doing, and those a lot of times sound like talking points from the Elite Dangerous community. Like there's somebody who said, hey, if you want to argue about Star Citizen, say these 5 things because it pisses them right off. So one thing we could do is show them. I've been doing this all week. I go to a random Kickstarter. I go to Kickstarter. I literally hit like random Kickstarter. I go there and I say, okay, look. For $75, I can get one of these plastic spatulas with my name written on it. You see, and then for like $150, I can get a gold spatula with my name on it. And you see, and that's what you have to explain to people, is that this is a Kickstarter, and they're giving us the ships for the pledge that we're making to help the game get made. And then once you've done that, and once I did that, most people their eyes light up and they go, oh, I get it now. So you mean I can actually get in the game for only $35 or $45? Like, yep, that's it. You just $35, $45, whatever the package price is at the time. You're in and you got the whole game. You don't need to buy anything else. There is no like $500 ships you need to buy. But SIG has a problem with that. Because when you go to their store page for the very first time, you open up the store page, there's a ship on there for $500 right off the bat. And that's their fault. They should have some kind of way to explain it a little better.
Nobody understands.
I agree. It's CIG needs to fix their shop. That's one of the biggest barriers to entry for Star Citizen fans. And every one of us,
the exposition is confusing.
Yeah, every one of us here can say that they've had someone who come into their chat, or someone who they've talked to who's looked at this website and said, "What the hell is this?
$2,000 for a ship?
$2,000 for a ship? What are you kidding? Like, I'm not gonna pay $2,000 for a game.
I'm not going to pay it either."
Yeah. No,
exactly.
I don't have to. But so it's a constant problem that with CIG, but it's their website.
All right. I got to bump in again. I'm sorry. We should move on to the next couple of callers. Got 2 callers that are waiting, so let's move on. Okay, next caller. You are up. Go ahead, caller. What's your name?
Nick. Hello.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Go ahead with your
Hi.
question.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
All right. First off, I want to say I looked up meat spin, and I'm pretty sure I'm addicted. I'm on like 400 spins right now.
You're really very persistent. That's awesome. I don't think I've made it that far myself. But this song is catchy,
Yeah, it's a masterpiece,
Yeah.
So I have a picture here that says, people are complaining about Star Citizen dev times and stuff like that, Well, I'm thinking I got a picture here that's you all probably saw this already, but it's like right now Star Citizen's 3 years in development. Elder Scrolls Online took 7 years. Guild Wars 2 5 years. Star Wars: The Old Republic, which isn't even that good of a game.
I was actually the one who posted that on Reddit.
Are you okay? So you're fucking okay. So yeah. See, like I show people this, they're like fucking Star Citizen's never going anywhere. Oh my god, development's so slow. It's just because they're sharing everything with us.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they make, it's we see, and it just makes it seem so slow, even though it's actually probably insanely fast for what it is right now. So it's pretty crazy.
Never watched.
Yeah, totally. You got to consider as well that 3 years ago they had 6 people,
Right.
and they've been on the ramp up since.
Yeah, and
how many people do they have now?
They have 250.
About 250.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem with that is because they all along have been so open with the development that it's made people like when Call of Duty starts showing screenshots, it's right next to being finished.
Yeah.
When StarCitizen showed screenshots, it was just a concept.
I was going to say Captain Flint can chime in as a game dev. Is that more than likely he wouldn't have shown this kind of build already in any kind of this shape that is now.
Sorry, go on, Clifford.
No, there's no telling. I mean, there's plenty of games out there that have been in development, and take Elder Scrolls Skyrim for example. There's no telling how many builds they've done in the background that we never knew about that were other failures, and they had to go back and rewrite code or rewrite animations or do whatever.
Or quests that sucked and items that sucked that they never.
There's no telling how many times a company had to backpedal, because this is, like I said, the Star Citizen is the first one to pave the way in this new type of open development. So you're going to see them openly trip and fall several times. And just the perfect example is the damage state system. Some person in one of the offices came up with the great idea, this new technology that they say, hey, I can make this work. Look at this, Chris. Chris is like, this would make it so much easier. Let's roll it back and go with that. And it might have pissed some people off because they're like, well, you're going to take more time, but look at the end result of what you're going to get. And and you would have never known if they were in closed development. You wouldn't have known they went to that.
So,
yeah. All right, no, I mean, that's exactly right. It's an iterative thing. And let me just tell you a little thing about game artists and game engineers. They hate showing stuff early. Like, you're working with them and you've asked them to do early concepts. They will keep hold of it as long as they possible internally until they think it's polished and perfect for you, let alone showing it publicly. So it's weird for the development team as well, getting things out this early. Super weird. And a lot of stuff you see, when you see pre-release screenshots and pre-release videos, they're highly edited and tweaked to show us what they expect the game to be like rather than what the game currently is like. We're seeing these warts and all.
Right.
We are seeing things exactly how they are right now.
We're seeing your wife from the very first time when you take her clothes off after you get married, and you're like, oh, there she is.
The shower curtains are transparent.
Yeah.
Well, a perfect iteration is like the Idris. Look at what it is now on the final pictures of like the repair ship repairing an Idris. It looks so much different from the original iteration of the Idris. I mean, they beefed it up, made it bigger, and that's how much it had changed. So for what the original artist intended the Idris to be, and now what it is now, that's probably why they don't like showing it, is because just because I'm showing you a concept of what it looked like then, now look at it. Look how much change has happened in 3 years.
You think about almost all of the original pledge ships for Star Citizen. The Aurora, the 300, the Hornet, the Hornet, the Freelancer, the Constellation, all of them had to be redone. They almost all of them all of those ships had entered the hangar and had entered flyable states, and all of them had to be done at least once since they were entered the hangar.
There's an awesome picture that was on Reddit I can't find right now that showed the original Constellation, the updated Constellation, and the new Constellation, and the changes just blow your mind. And when you look at that picture, if you think, I would have been fine with that first picture.
Yeah.
But
the new one,
crap.
And even the new one uses less polys.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Real quick, Nick, thank you for the call in. We're going to move on to the next caller. Thanks, Nick. If anybody else wants to call in, go ahead and call. We're taking calls right now, so thanks for calling, Nick. We appreciate the comments and suggestions and stuff.
We got one more, I think.
Yep. Okay, next caller. Go ahead, caller. What's your name and what do you want to say?
Hi, this is Water Buffalo, actually.
Hi, Water Buffalo.
I got a couple of points. I got a couple of points to continue on with this conversation. And quickly backtrack to Skyrim for a minute, seeing as it was brought up. But the other day I was snooping around because I'm currently playing through it again, and snooping around for on like the Skyrim wiki page, whatever. And for this one quest, it mentioned that the quest line in the code was actually changed. Like there were certain quests that have been changed or removed because it would alter in some way or another the main storyline. So it even right there, it says that as well, and in that, and to go further into the CIG taking so long with the game, quote unquote. A lot of people also don't realize, and this is going back to the picture that was posted showing all the development times for all these other games like Elder Scrolls Online and GTA 5 and all these other ones, is that these games took 3, 5, 7 years to make, but these games were also created by studios that are already established, that have made prior games, that have studios, people, finances, assets, stuff to work off of. Yeah. So something like the Elder Scrolls, where online, where all their stuff, they've already got the lore, they've already got the character designs, they've got the weapon and armor designs, they've got the world designs, they've got everything already there. So to say, it took 7 years when they've already got the stuff, where CIG's only been in development, or StarCitizen has only been in development for, 2.5, 3 years tops, to say that they're taking so long when they have to build all their assets, they have to build a studio, hire people, get money, equipment, et cetera, you can't make that comparison, because you're comparing a brand new studio to studios who've been around for a decade or more.
Yeah, it's just like Aaron Roberts has said, when they're doing the concepts of every manufacturer of the Hornet, they finally have the look and feel of the Hornet. They finally get the metals built out that they use for Anvil's line and everything. So now they can extrapolate that library that they've created to the rest of the ships. And development will speed up over time as each manufacturer gets its own library of metals. So you're completely hit the nail on the head with Skyrim and the other studios having already pre-built assets in a treasure trove of libraries that they can pull from. And people, for what CIG has done currently with what they have is by far a miracle.
Ridiculous. And that's what
I'd like to add something to that. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think Captain Flynn, you probably have the best input on this. From what we've been seeing, especially recently with CIG, they spend every waking moment possible that is reasonable developing this game, and all of their resources are geared from day one towards making the best StarCitizen they possibly can, which perhaps is different from what some larger studios maybe are doing.
It is. So basically what they're a AAA-sized studio now with AAA funding, with the mentality, the mindset, and the passion of an independent developer, which is insane. Because an indie dollar goes at least 10 times as far as a normal dollar.
Yeah, and the thing about indies is that you can do what you want. There's no one there to tell you what you want. And
exactly.
Here's a good example of Frontier made Elite Dangerous. Great game. Frontier is a company that's been in existence for several years.
30 years, I think.
30 years, yeah.
I used to play on Amiga.
They made the original Frontier Elite,
1983.
Right? Yeah. And then they made the Roller Coaster Tycoon series, was another one they were famous for. Yep. And they're still making the Roller Coaster Tycoon series. They're actually making one for the Xbox One coming out soon. And they also made most recently Elite Dangerous. They were a studio that had existed for a long time, and it still took them 4 years, I think, to build the engine for Elite Dangerous, and then it still took them 2 or 3 years to actually build the game. So, and they were an established studio. They still took several years, 6-7 years, full from the beginning of the basic engine to the full game to get it out. So it's more difficult to kind of concentrate when you have to build a studio. You have to build a whole lore library to what's going on, because even then, Elite's been in a series forever. They've got the designs of the stuff.
Yeah, they got heritage to pull from.
And another good example,
which is why the ship, the Sidewinder, looks like it does, because that was the original shape of the.
That was the Sidewinder. So it was
Coriolis, Starport, everything.
Yeah,
they have stuff to build on. And honestly, CIG, they're not just building; they're innovating, they're inventing, they're doing things that haven't been done. Like
doing research and development. Yeah.
You have your all-aspect warfare. We're doing all-aspect innovation here. Mm-hmm. They're having to invent, which means invention doesn't happen without getting things wrong 1,000 times before you get it right.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying things, see what works, see what works
like
for
the
other
helmet.
things. It's a game, see what's fun.
And adding another thing to it is that not every game developer is comfortable working in that kind of environment.
No.
And so what's going to happen is you're going to hire some people who are going to get into the studio who will experience that culture and go, this is not me. I cannot do this. I cannot work in this. I need boxes to work in because that's what I work well into. And it's stressful if you're like, hey, you're now Edison or Tesla, make me something.
Real quick, Mr. Water Buffalo,
spend 3-4 days at the office and sleep there and wake up.
Thanks for calling in, Water Buffalo. We're gonna move on. So thank you for calling in. Let's move on to that question because we started off and then we
turned away.
We just went off on a tangent with the callers coming in too. So
I told you I talk a lot.
No, we all talk a lot. It's fine. Okay, so I guess we kind of covered it with just the last two callers actually about the forum rage. There's always forum rage. People say, Domo, did you see what they said in the forum about this? I mean, no, I haven't been to the forum in probably 3 months.
Yeah,
like, seriously.
I really do feel sorry for
Lando.
Disco Lando, because he says he's like, I love doing the forum. I love going to the forum because there are some amazing stuff that goes on in the forum, but it's like wading through muck to get to it because there's so much visceral toxicity, and that's from the community that understands StarCitizen.
Right.
It's not from the community that has no idea what a space game is or has never even seen like Wing Commander. Can you imagine 15, 16-year-old kids who haven't even been alive since Wing Commander was a thing?
Right.
Trying to
where's my kill streak, bro?
Get off my lawn.
I mean, that's the problem is that we've been so far away from real true sandbox games, which are making a return, thankfully.
Just Cause, I was playing it today. Fantastic sandbox.
And Space Sims. We've been so far because they both died around the same time that people don't understand, especially the younger gamers, the teens, late and early 20s, often don't understand what this game is about because they never experienced it in the first place when they were kids.
I was lucky enough to be part of the very tail end of it, and even then it was sort of Elite Dangerous and StarCitizen sort of rediscovering this amazing universe of games that was lost to me.
So I don't care whatever the drama is in CIG. I just can't.
I'm used to it because you see it in every single kind of forum. It doesn't matter what the content is, what the subject is. I've seen people do this about dog breeding forums, and it's the same level of vitriol from people who are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old.
Right.
It never changes, which is really surprising. But it's always the same problem. And
Wait a second. I'm in my hangar. I got the new Avenger in here.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
I just I'm like, wait a second. It looks different back here.
It's the cells. That's the stalker.
The 2 rows instead of 1 row.
Oh, so it's got 6 pods now.
Yeah.
I hope that it. I like to think that our community, which I'm glad to have become a part of and self-adopt into. I hope that our community is pragmatic enough to understand the importance of civil discussion and respect, to be able to come across in ways that allow us to continue to produce useful.
I think internet anonymity is more powerful than that. It's a good ideal. I would love it.
I have.
Thanks for killing all of my dreams.
I have a dream that one day that we'll see something like one of the good examples of good community that I'm a part of that I love is the Kerbal Space Program community. Mm-hmm. They are insanely, and I mean insanely, cooperative. They're very very welcoming. If you go onto their forums and even if you ask a stupid question, they'll tell you that it's a stupid question, but they'll also answer it. They'll do their best to be like, hey, this is probably not a good best place to be, so on and so forth. So that's the kind of community I hope that it will foster. So if someone gets killed by a pirate, I hope they don't go on the forums and be like, oh, pirates are stupid. Well,
it's like on the forums they were having a pissing match over them bringing out the Connie Phoenix again. I'm like, whoop-de-doo, we got more backers in, so it calls for a more percentage of hire. It can handle more ships. SIG looks at the metrics every day of the population and what it grows, which are duplicate accounts, which is the actual count of citizens. And when they see it raises enough, hey, we can sell a couple more Phoenixes, this and that. And not all of them are going to sell. I mean, you look at it now, there's still a couple thousand left that they have not sold. So, you know, I just don't like getting in those stupid matches of like, you know, does the Phoenix really do anything for gameplay? Not really, because I have a Phoenix and I'm just like, all I can do is fly around in it and maybe, you know, port NPCs who are worth high dollars because they're high-class citizens. But other than that, it doesn't do anything for combat, anything for truck hauling, nothing. It's just it's a luxury item. Yeah.
It apparently has a smuggling compartment.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, I can store my Coke in it then.
There you go. Space Coke. Okay. Let me ask. This is the next question from Ravencatcher. Says, any idea if we'll be able to see close quarters CCU? Close quarters.
Yeah, the melee combat is live, and I think that with Star Marine we actually get knife combat. So, but it'll be very similar to like Counter-Strike knife combat, where you have a knife out and you just kind of slash.
I haven't been able to successfully melee in the PTU so far, which is weird, but I've heard other people have.
Yeah. Pistol whip. Yeah.
Just hit X.
I tried for months. I've been trying to do that. It's not working for me. I don't know why. I'll figure it out maybe.
Yeah, I am playing this live, by the way.
I just want fists. I just want to be able to put my fist up from an arm and just punch somebody in the face.
I want to EVA somebody. I want to grab them and I want to do like a belly to back suplex. Maybe a pile driver. I mean, I've got all that extra thrust. Make use of it, you know? Maybe power bomb.
No, but I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. I think we'll see it develop over time, but it's not worth it right now. It's just not. It's not the same as trying to get the universe ready. So it's there, and we'll see it eventually. Maybe it's they have time.
All right. Next question is: when you manage to stay connected to the servers and starts at any length of time, what's your performance like? Smooth frames per second. And this is from Human Evil.
If we have an FPS dip, I think it's usually an indication that the server crashes. That's my
yeah.
Same for me.
Yeah.
I'm actually playing live right now. Because somebody was asking me a minute ago. I am playing live in the background.
So basically what I think it is, there's one of two things it could be. One could be the CPU threading issue where it's basically just backed up in the CPU. What it's also possibly going to be is because they have a fully authoritative server setup, which means all the key computations are done on the server. So if the server's gone slow down and the networking's having issues, it's going to take a long time to get each update, which can cause the I'm flying through tar type scenario.
Or we can see the Avenger, but we can't actually get into it.
Yeah.
I
mean, from my
that's desync.
Yeah.
Basically desync.
I've had it, and I've seen some people talking about this in the Discord channel for PTU. Sometimes it's based on the instance that you're in, because the pirates seem to cause some of the lag issues with the NPCs.
Because they don't get cleared up or something like that.
Yeah, there's like that whole spawn
So
pirate thing that WTF was
you get into a fresh instance, like I invited somebody to a party, and immediately my lag disappeared, and I was running at like 45 frames a second, which for me, because I render and stream using the same GPU on a single PC system, was a huge deal for me to like have smooth performance. And I could go out to a system, I could do all sorts of stuff, and everything was running really, really great most of the time. So
if you have an SSD, it loads in very fast, and it usually loads in very quickly. Even the servers load
on Monday. Fast and quickly.
Yeah.
I need to get an
fast
SSD.
and quickly. It loads in fast, but like the loading screen itself doesn't take as long.
Yeah.
So it works up quickly.
Watch Baron, you'll see how fast he loads in, and we wonder why.
Well, awesome. Yeah. So I need some rich benefactor to buy me an SSD, please, guys.
Yeah, I started off with it on my regular 7200 RPM hard drive, and then I was having such long load times. I put it on my SSD, and it was so much better.
It's like a minute and a half sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, Dom, I wanted to ask a question. Did you ask that one question about the CCU system? Because I got an answer for that.
Yeah, we just asked it, but we moved on, I think.
Okay,
but go ahead.
Well, when he's talking about game logos live, and I wanted to talk about this because it's a good point, because some people just don't read.
The question again is, any idea if we'll be able to do CCU after the game finally goes live?
No.
When you bring up the CCU with the 2 ships that you're going to CCU to, and you go into the active screen for it, if you look at the bottom right, it'll say in fine print, when Star Citizen Beta goes live, CCU will not happen no more. Period. It's gone. CCU system is gone after Beta. I mean, during the launch of Beta. When Beta goes live, then it's done. No more CCU. So you either have to do your CCU, and I'm pretty sure Lando and all them will let y'all know when the official Beta is launched.
Yep. Yeah, we're still in pre-alpha pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I can perhaps give a bit of insight into why that makes sense inside the verse, but it does. Trust me, it does. Because, I mean, the whole point of ships in the verse is that they're tied into the dynamic economy server. So availability will be measured by the game. You will have to travel around to find ships. If you can just CCU into any old ship, it takes that whole system and throws it out the window.
Wait a second. That might be my fault. When I said CCU, I was thinking that thing from Elite Dangerous, which is...
the credits?
No. The Close Quarters Combat, CCB.
Oh, CQC.
That's what I thought they were talking about. That's totally my fault. Cross-chassis upgrade. I totally brain fart. I'm getting old, guys. Just get off my back.
Okay. Well, there we go. Well, we answered it. I mean, it is there.
We answered 2 different questions about 2 different things, but they're the same thing.
Yeah, it's just that it comes down to you just got to read the fine print, and it is there on the website when you do CCU that when beta launches, it will be inoperable.
Yeah. But it seems clear to me that CCU is a sort of a system that's just designed to allow you to, as a backer, without spending extra money, test different kinds of ships out and help the development process and enjoy the game.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the same blurbage will come out with the melting situation when they activate that. I'm pretty sure they'll say, okay, at the time when Star Citizen is at beta full launch, you might have a year to unmelt your ships. Because I figured the unmelting is a little bit different than CCU because that's extra cash flow for them. That literally they could still stick to their guns of, we're not going to sell any more ships except for the base packages to get you into Star Citizen. But this still gives them a way to make money from old backers to bring back their old ships that they want out of the unmelting stage.
Yeah, and ultimately they're not generating arbitrary ships. They're only like getting back what they're previously back for. So yeah, that's a lot less of an issue.
Yeah.
I love this ship simmer. This is one of my favorite ships in the game, and I didn't think about it until we actually got it in the hangar, because it's not actually a standalone ship by itself. I mean, it is. It's a ship you can buy, obviously, but I also have an M50, which for some reason isn't showing in my hangar. But the P52 is actually attached to the Constellation, but I own it. I own it by itself as well, and it is just gorgeous. I just love the paint job on it. That sort of metallic-y silver. I had a car like that had the same paint job. It was a muscle car.
And it has a smiley face.
I
have a Mustang with the same paint job.
It kind of feels like the Fat Cave.
And it has a little smiley face on the front of it.
It's like a shark.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's all the way in the back of the ship. It's where you get your privacy. Pull out your magazines.
Fat Cave. Yeah.
The Fat Cave.
Well, it's so funny. Somebody on the base said this, that it's a butt plug for the Connie.
Was that Trendane? All right, so next question here. Most important question of the evening. How does Domo grow and maintain such a magnificent beard? This is from Elborn. I use a product called argan oil. It's a Moroccan oil that you put in your beard, and it softens it up, makes it nice and pretty and dark.
Wow.
Yeah, if you guys have beards, get it. It's lovely. Is that what you got?
I use Pro Rosso myself.
Does it have argan in it? Because they blend it in a lot of different beard oils. Because
I use water.
Oleo de Barbara, and it has.
My beard's whatever.
It doesn't tell me.
So there you go. And I've actually trimmed it back a little bit. I've had it trimmed back. It was really long. It was down to like middle of my chest, and it got all caught up in my ear one night when I was sleeping, and I was like, "That's it."
People said I have the Chuck Norris beard going.
You do.
Now you're making me beard conscious. Why would you do this?
Yeah, it's because we do. That's what we do.
I bullshit that a hairdresser touched my beard and he butchered it. So never again.
Petrol might work. Okay, would you eat this amazing Star Wars AT-AT cake? This is from Human Evil. Let's look at it. It better be good. That's what I'm saying. If it has a penis on it, I'm definitely going to put it on the stream.
Oh my gosh.
Stream confirmed.
More like ATAD. Right?
Oh, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. Amazing. That is an amazing cake, and yes, I would eat it.
Depends on the flavor, but yes, I would eat it.
It looks like it's like a vanilla.
You know why streamers have beards? Because because we're lazy and we're like, I don't have to shave.
We have to spend more time.
We just get alive because we feel like it.
Yeah,
the reason why we have beards is because for a lot of us, it just makes us not look like we're 12 years old.
That too. That helps.
Too. Yeah, because I have that problem where people look at me and go, "God, you're 12." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." All right, so
as a TOS.
Remember, guys, we do have call-in available. If you guys want, we had a few callers earlier. If you want to call in again, go ahead. Next one here. This is at Geo, which he's not here, so unfortunately, no. What happens when? Oh, this is from Kusa. What happens when the instance is full and a ship full of 20 people comes into an instance and then lets them all out? Flint, you want to take this one?
Yeah. So the way they currently have it planned is when you enter the instance, they will put you into an instance that you can fit into. And they will reserve the 20 slots for those people. So if it's a 40-man instance and there's 30 in instance A, it will spool up instance B and then put the whole 20 in there, and it will allocate 20 slots for you. And then anyone else who's joining in, if like another 15 people come in, they're not going to fit in instance A either, so they'll go into instance B too. And that'd be like 35 people. And it will dynamically like arrange who goes where based on that.
Yep.
Cool.
Is the short answer.
It kind of splits. Is it we're talking about the splitting system where it kind of splits it? It kind of creates its own. Instance.
Yeah. So that's essentially what instancing is. So instancing, if you're talking about an area in space, that's not really an instance. That's a zone. But the zones themselves are split into multiple instances, which is, well, if you Google up the definition of instance, that's basically what it is. It's an individual copy of that zone. And it will basically spread the whole population over as many of those as it needs to keep the population of each one under the maximum. If there's an area of space and the instance is like 100 people and there's only 50 people there, there'll only be one instance. And everyone who goes to that area will go into the same one. If there's like 2,000 people there, there's going to be 20 instances, for example. And then it will put you into whichever instance that 20 people as your group or your ship will be able to move into.
Yep. Awesome system.
It is great.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Discussing the different roles the Crucible can play, what would be an interesting... okay. Discussing the different roles the Crucible can play would be an interesting discussion. I guess Stopman's asking us to talk about what we think would make the Crucible a thing. And this is great, because we were talking about this before the cast, about some different things that happened to us. And so we can just go around and talk about that, because it all did take place around Crucible, so we can talk about that kind of stuff. So who wants to start off?
Huh?
I'll start off. Okay.
The different roles that the Crucible could play in a battle.
Yeah, well, not even just in the battle, but
I can stay.
I was gonna talk about the things that happened with us, like at the stations and stuff like that, because you know.
So you're talking about ways that the Crucible could fit into that around the station?
No, I think what he's asking is discussing different roles Crucible can play, because like my experience is that the first thing I thought of is that it's a carrier for a racing ship.
Oh, Crucible! Shit! Sorry.
It can maintain.
What's the name of the planet? What's the name of that planet there?
Crusader.
See, I told you I'm getting old.
Slightly confused there.
Yeah, I got confused.
So yeah,
I was talking about
ship carrier. Awesome.
Yeah, never mind. Ignore what I was talking about. We'll talk about that in a second.
A mini salvage ship.
Mini salvage ship. Yep.
So you can also ship into the bay.
I see one easy way to use the Crucible, and that is by extorting other players by damaging their ships with operatives who then notify you, so you can be the first one to show up to repair their ship at a cost.
I'm just going to say Firefly. Remember that there's an episode of Firefly, Out of Gas, when that ship shows up and it talks with with Serenity, and they're like, "This is my ship now."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a repair ship, and it's my ship now. And it actually looks very similar to the Crucible. The repair ship had the little crab arms and everything else like that. So.
And they were about to salvage it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and these repair ships can also go into asteroid fields where a lot of miners are mining, and you could just hit guys up as a constant maintenance ship for the mining ships that are around in the area, and you could just go asteroid to asteroid to companies and just repair their ships as they is, because I'm pretty sure drill bits are going to get damaged, mechanics are going to get damaged, and you can go around there fixing their stuff. Just be
and you can get paid in rare metals.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, and it's set up an FOB, so you'll have a med ship, a repair ship set up a forward operating base when you're on your crusades against the Vandal. You set up your own Screw Cryastro. Come to my place instead, and I'll charge you half the price. There's
yeah, there you go.
Many things.
Oh, we're getting raided by WTFosaurus. Hey, Raiders.
Whoa. WTF is that?
You know who WTF.
WTF raid.
Thanks, Raiders.
Hello, Mr. Saurus and all the Saurus folks.
Yar, Raiders. Listen, if anybody wants to call in, we have the phone lines available right now, right there. Call in. We have questions that you can ask a question or make a comment or whatever. Talk about our lovely beards, whatever. Sorry about that. I felt like an idiot now because I got Crucible mixed up with Crusader.
But shoot him in the face, Domo Tribe.
Yeah, Domo Tribe, shoot him in the face with our love cannons. All right, so before we go to the next question, let's talk about that real quick because now I've already mentioned it. We might as well talk about it. Okay. What were your guys' experiences so far in 2.0 PTU as far as like things that are happening around Crusader? No,
Yes, Crusader.
Crusader, the planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
DayZ in space is part of what happens. The second you get out of the armistice zone, everyone's fair game. Everyone's shooting everybody in the face, no matter what's going on. You can't I've been hiding my ships when I go into stations into the
me too. I
the
hide in the back.
hubs or the FPS station because if you park your ship, they will blow your ship up and then fly away because they can.
So yeah, I have though had 2 instances counter to that. So one did actually end up with us fighting, but basically I had parked up, I hidden my M50 away on Kyrandia, whatever the hell its name is, the PvP station, the FPS station. I parked myself up and I was about to get out and head in, and someone came in the chat and said, "Hey, Captain Flint, are you hostile or are you friendly?" And then he started counting down, and he was hovering over me with his Super Hornet, challenging me saying, "Are you friendly or am I about to blow you up?" And then we had a dogfight and it was awesome. The second one was actually today where I bumped into someone doing the mission system and I could have shot him. But instead I was like, "Hey, I'm friendly, let's co-op on this thing." And we went through and we did some good kind of testing on the mission because the second part was kind of bugged because the things weren't where they're supposed to be. So we just fly around together, just testing together, and it was awesome. That social interaction is like the sign of what I want Star Citizen to be.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine in the future when there's more reputation systems in place, and all that kind of stuff.
When there's consequences.
Right now there's no consequences. Pell-mell, do what you want because a pirate is free.
Yeah. So that's a perfect segue into my this is my experience, what I've been doing on Crusader, pretty much. At every opportunity possible, I will stow away onto a ship and I will kill the pilot and steal that ship because that's the only thing that I'm really trying to do. But there was one. I went to Com Array 556, and I ran into I don't know who it was. So I docked. I hid my Hornet in the shade somewhere underneath a bit of ways away, and I EVA'd inside to go turn on the thing. I was chatting with some viewers as I was streaming at the time, and I took forever. By the time I finally left to go back find my ship, I saw my Hornet was just floating away, spinning rapidly, violently, just not fast enough for me not to be able to catch up to it, so I could try to catch up to it, but I got smacked by it and pushed away. So I figured, okay, well, this is done. I can't. I literally lost my ship. 5 minutes of dancing around on the solar panels later, somebody showed up with an Avenger and parked their ship right in front of the front door. So I stole their ship.
You could have asked for a ride. I could have done many things.
I could have waited for them. I could have. I just took it. I took it and I took off. And they were in chat and they were furious.
Yeah,
and it was wonderful.
My experience so far is if I see a Connie, I'm going to steal it. And by stealing it, I mean I'm going to sneak. I found the perfect ways to sneak them on board Connies that without people noticing me. And what I'll do, and I did. Look at me! I am the captain now. To one of the one of the Connie pilots, because it was at the very end of my stream last night. I got on and he was streaming around, but he wasn't doing anything. He was just in the ship. So I pull out my gun and I walk in front of him with the gun and like, look at me! I am the captain now. And he wasn't doing anything. So I started dancing. I did the dance motes in front of him, so he couldn't see where he was going. When I was standing right in front of him, so he couldn't see. And then the server crashed. So it was a glorious that's my experience at 2.0 is sneaking onto a Connie, fruitlessly trying to take over a ship and then dancing to troll the guy. And
Zerg's move so awesome they crash servers confirmed.
Yes, I am that good at dancing.
Let me tell you a quick story of mine then, real quick. So I got the Constellation right now. By the way, guys, I am playing live in the background here.
I see it.
And I actually got in. Yay! But I was on my Constellation, and I went over to the derelict station, and I wanted to get really, really close because at the time I forgot that you can get out the Connie in space on the side ports, not just the bottom. And so I was like, I gotta get close. And so I got really, really close, and I was going a little too fast, and I hit the station, and it cracked my glass, and it spaced me. Like it sucked all the air out of my ship. So then I was floating. I was floating in space. So then what ended up happening was I'm just gonna keep moving around here so I don't lose my connection on the game. If you sit still for too long, it does seem to time you out. So anyway, I went in the station. I flew around. I couldn't find anybody to kill or anything like that. I listened to all the holotapes or the tapes and everything, and I left. When I went back up, my Connie was just sort of floating in space, like floating gently around, and it was like sparking and stuff like that. So I went inside the Connie, hid there, and waited for somebody to come by who was going to try to steal it. And it was like I made my own little derelict ship, and somebody's like, "Oh wow, a Connie! Holy shit, this is great!" And they were going to come in and steal it, and I shot him in the face. So then I hopped in and I flew over to the repair place and repaired it. But it was all that whole thing was just amazing to me.
Man, so much violence. The experience that I had that was really fun. And I don't know what it is about it. I went to that zone where the moon is and the floating asteroids, and I got out of my M50 and just floated around closely around the asteroids. And I was just looking up at the stars. I said, man, I was kind of brought back to myself just thinking, I cannot wait for the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
I cannot
Have
wait
you tried it, though, Clifford? Does it not work at all?
I haven't tried it, not with this iteration of StarCitizen. I probably should, but I'm ready to get rid of the screen door effect and have the actual one that actually is better.
Yeah.
But just standing there and looking at just it being quiet and silent, and you're just looking around at the stars and the floating asteroids and the detail that's there, it's just like, wow, this is the game I've been waiting for. This is it,
Yeah. I'm kind of impressed. You can see planets, the moons, and everything from so far away.
Yeah,
they're tiny, but you can see them, which is kind of cool.
It blows my mind how the fidelity in this game is just.
It reminds me a lot of Kerbal Space Program, where you can actually see the planets in the very, very distance, but you can't actually get there until you.
Yeah.
B101, thank you for the resub, buddy. 15 months. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm mostly looking forward to them adding, which I know is going to knock me a long time. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things I'm looking forward to, especially for the social aspect, is actually adding the voice comm stuff.
Yeah. Voice comms makes it much more interesting, yeah.
We can interact more immediately with people, like with the radios and the local comms, and actually be able to have meaningful conversations, because not many people have the chat open all the time.
So when I say thanks for the ship, later nerd, they're gonna hear me.
Exactly.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be so much fun.
Look at me. This is my ship now.
I also look forward to the Nemesis system, so I can stick Biogen on there.
Tommy Trains was asking, does this feel like lawless space? It does right now, because there really are no consequences whatsoever.
Yeah, there's no UE, police there or anything like that.
We're just willy-nilly. It's okay because we're testing out the different systems of the game anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It's one of those things that's like, it also gives you an idea of, if you're in an area where there is no security, you best be on your best behavior. You best be on the guard.
You best have at least a couple people back in your Connie that are going to shoot people trying to take it.
Yeah,
shit like that. You're gonna need.
That's one thing. It's affirmed my belief that if you're gonna play Star Citizen, you have to have more than one person. Playing solo is not going to be in an area like this where it's completely lawless. You're gonna get crushed. You're gonna get crushed.
Also, you got to bear in mind in the future as well that actually stealing or taking a ship by force is going to be more lucrative than blowing it up. So you're not going to have people randomly blowing up your ship.
Yeah.
So having some form of security mechanism in place so it takes them a while to get into the ship, or leaving someone to defend the ship, or something like that is going to be more.
Yeah,
you have the opportunity to maybe shoot face too.
Yeah, well, I could see doing like what Domo did, or making it look like a derelict ship. A lot of people are probably going to end up doing that in the verse, is make their ship look like it's dead in space and wait until they board, kill them, and then latch onto their other ship and take it with them.
Yeah, or have a reclaimer sitting close by.
Yeah.
We actually did that at the end of my stream today before I came on. That's why I was a little bit late, because we got a bit carried away. But I got my constellation out and we put it on a pad. And I started a chat and said, hey, someone left a constellation on pad 10. If anyone wants it. And then when they hid in the back, the plan was to let them take off and fly off into space, then sneak in, surprise them, and blow their face off.
That's pretty good.
It was essentially the plan, but as it
works.
turns out, I had a bug where my constellation was spawning with no seats and no turrets, which kind of made it a bit difficult.
So I got this weird thing going on now. I can't see where I'm supposed to be going.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's one of the bugs where you can't actually see it.
Yeah.
Caller.
Go ahead, caller. What's your name?
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Good.
My question was, and I haven't been able to find really too much information about it on the forums or in any of the videos, is what you guys think the NPC interaction is in the game going to be like. With the sense of realism they're going for in the game, I don't see, you interacting with an NPC and a giant wall of text popping up beside them. Do you think that they'll have like some sort of SWOTO mechanic where you have, say, I don't know, 2 or 3 options of, dialogue to go with, or how do you think that'll actually play out?
I would recommend that you watch the footage at the CitizenCon, because they showed a little bit of the actual conversation where the text kind of flew up and kind of went away. They actually showed just a hint of a little glimpse of what they are kind of shooting for.
It's going to be a lot like Until Dawn, or those kind of games, Heavy Rain.
I guess a little bit. I mean, it's all about contextual systems. Yeah. So it'll give you a couple of contextual choices, which is kind of like... and it's going to go for people, and also they said it was going to go for items and things. So you see an apple on the table, it's like eat the apple, pick up the apple, throw the apples, that sort of thing. But it's all very fluid the way they're approaching it. And also it's not just about how you interact with them from these are your text options standpoint, it's also how you are around them. So if you're looking at them, engaging them in speech, they're going to talk to you. If you turn around, wander off, and start just exploring the hangar, they're going to turn around and say, hey, where are you going? I'm trying to talk to you over here.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And we've actually seen some of the interactions in 2.0. One of the ways that they're going to do this is kind of couch it into a decision on your own part. Like one of the missions you can get very early on in the game with 2.0 is ICC Stellar Surveyor mission, where they receive a distress call, and you get called to go to this probe area, and you meet Tessa. Tessa is the local surveyor in charge of the area, and she says, "Hey, I just got this message. I need someone to help. You're new. Can you help me out?" And she's basically like, "You can do it. You don't have to, but I'm asking you if you can do this for me." And then that's it. She relays the message, and it's up to you what you do. So that's the kind of interaction. And I guess in the final universe, if you help Tessa's reputation with you, your reputation with Tessa and the ICC surveyors will go up because you helped her out.
They also demonstrated it in the tutorial that we had for a long time now. So in the tutorial, at the start of the tutorial, you'll meet up with, I forget his name, the pro who's teaching him how to fly. And he's telling about the mission. If you just walk away from him,
his name is Gilly. His name is Grumpy.
Gilly, that's the guy. Gilly, you just walk away from him. He gets annoyed and says, "Hey, come over here. I'm trying to talk to you."
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. That kind of you're in the moment. It's not cut screens. It's not just random text dialogue. It's how you interact with those NPCs with that fluid system that you can see in the tour video thing.
Real quick, caller, who are you?
Oh, hold on a second. I muted him.
Oh.
Call sign of Sights in game.
Go ahead, caller.
Oh, hello, Sights.
Yeah.
How you doing? Thanks for calling in. Have a good night. Thanks a lot for your question.
No problem. Thanks for the answer, guys.
You're welcome. Have a good one. All right.
Sights.
People were asking.
Yeah. All right, next question here. My question is, what's the deal with the P2P ships and insurance? Are the ships earnable in-game with money or only real cash? And why do some of the ships have lifetime insurance over the next 3 months? Please enlighten me. This is a very common question all of us that are StarCitizen streamers get all the time. So this is from Alien Tarot. Go ahead. Who wants to take that one?
Someone else can. But I mean, I'll give you the basic rundown. The basic rundown. Insurance is a money sink in-game. It's designed to prevent inflation. Insurance is a way that you can, if you ever played a game like Elite Dangerous where they have something similar, the difference is between Elite Dangerous and StarCitizen. Elite Dangerous, you pay for it after you've blown up. In StarCitizen, you pay for it before you even blow up. It's more realistic and actual way insurance actually works. You pay for it over a certain amount of time. In-game money, all of the ships you can buy currently will be either bought. You can buy them in-game with in-game cash, or you can capture them and fly them. So every ship you see that is like even the $1,000, $1,500 ship, you can get in-game if you work hard enough and long enough. So there's no barrier to that. But LTI is simply just a nice little. It's for base insurance. It is for base insurance. It just means that you don't have to pay base insurance, but you have to also pay insurance on other things. So let everyone else.
It's for collectibles and stuff you maybe don't fly all the time, but you want to keep it insured anyway. And also stuff that if you did lose it and had forgot to insure it, it would be a big blow. Like having a glaive, for example.
Yeah. Or like even a bigger ship, like a Banu Merchantman or something like that. Which is
things that might cost a little bit more for insurance. Yeah, definitely worthwhile. The stuff like an LTI Archimedes, honestly, it's pointless.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's a nice thing to have, but it's not going to, because the insurance is going to cost so little. Yeah. The base hull insurance is going to cost like what? There's no credit system that they've thrown out there, but they said that it'll cost the equivalent of one mission. Like if you do one mission in the game, you can cover like 3 to 6 months.
It saved you 5 minutes of work.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Whoop-de-doo. It's mostly for EPing, mostly.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. We got a bunch here actually, so we got to get some. Should SIG branch a gameplay for FPS only? Good shooter game, optimized, no gravity would kick ass. This is from Silver.
They are. It's called Star Marine.
Star Marine. But is that really like a separate thing now, or is it?
It's going to be a separate thing. It's going to be part of like Arena Commander, but it's going to be still always available, and they're still going to be releasing it.
Okay.
Not as a separate game though.
No, but it's game within a game. It's part of
it's the game within the game, so they're going to have it, but you're not going to be able to buy it as a separate. Yeah. You will potentially be able to buy Star, like Squadron 42, but that still includes flying.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is all incorporated. So
yeah, it's just a little in-game deal for your buddies to go in and practice FPS shooting without loss of anything, basically.
If you'd like to ask a question and you don't want to wait for your question to get in, you could always call in and jump to the head of the line. That's the way it works.
Yep.
I did it. It works great.
Yeah, it does work. Okay, next question is, this one is from, Simmer. Yep. Would StarCitizen get kicked in their copyright nuts if they added something even slightly similar to a lightsaber?
We already have Star Wars stuff in there. We have the M50, which is basically an A-wing.
I mean, a lot of MMOs have like glowing light swords in them, and they're fine. I mean, it depends how close it gets to lightsaber, really.
Yeah, and the question is more for the CIG artists and developers: does it fit within the universe? If it fits within the universe, and they can make a little, casual tee-hee, it's a kind of nod to them.
It's like them dancing on their toes with EA. The EA logo in this one almost looks so similar to the original EA logo
and the Origin as well.
Yeah. Yep. And then the enemy, that's the Ralkilthi.
Yeah. I was going to say there's nothing to say that, because there are ancient civilizations that you can find relics for. There's nothing to say you might find a saber of light that is from an ancient civilization from an older
vibro sword,
whatever.
Plasma sword.
Yeah. Plasma sword, vibro sword.
Also, if you want Star Wars stuff, 890 jump, Star Destroyer.
It does look like a Star Destroyer, and the Freelancer looks like Firefly. Yeah, it's all good shit. I mean, they obviously have to be pulling it, because if they make something so outlandishly out of this world that doesn't have any tie-ins to some of the other ships that we've seen in other games, other movies, and other stuff, I think it makes it feel a little strange and alien. But when you pull in a ship that looks exactly like the Nostromo, or they pull in a ship that looks like Firefly or whatever, we suddenly go, "Ooh, I like that ship." I don't know why I really like that ship, but.
But it really feels like space to me.
It does,
it was like when they did the new design of the Connie, and the guy said, "I put the Connie logo on the side because it reminded me of the Enterprise." You know, they're taking cues from all sci-fi that we love so much because they want to see a little flavor of it.
So many of the artists also have worked on, like, one of their artists is one of the guys who has worked on the Next Generation, and
David Hobbins has worked on all of the Star Wars.
Well, he's working on them now,
including the most recent one.
Yeah. What's that?
Fix that. That was me.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. On the topic of Star Marine and melee, do you think they will see powered melee weapons such as chain swords, power fists? I think we were just mentioning that. Yeah, like the vibro swords or.
Maybe.
Well, they got the Titan armor that they're going to have a contest over too. So.
I'm sure it's one of those. Be nice, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see when we get there. All right, next question. Now that the PTU is getting more mature and Twitch seems to be getting more prominent, yes, this is definitely happening. Twitch streams are getting more prominent. Wouldn't it be good to get CIG set up a gift system so donators can assign a ship to gift? A streamer can claim a ship and assign a winner to avoid income tax. Oh wait, let me see this. Avoid income tax and PayPal fees. PayPal for free. I don't understand it. Silver. Can somebody explain maybe? Because I'm kind of lost.
I think what he's saying is that if CIG gave us a ship that we could give away, it wouldn't have to we wouldn't have to buy the ship, and then a way that we could buy the ship with like credit and then sell and then give it away on credit rather than having to pay for it with PayPal and so on and so forth.
It'd be nice. I would like to be able to use REC for it because I've got 400 billion REC.
I'd like to be able to give my REC away.
I'd love to be able to give away ships I didn't have to spend money on.
Yeah, I think all of us would. But that would also cheapen the ships, right? Because ultimately, if it flooded the market with
the ability
there's some value to having every single ship in the game that somebody's money went into buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to be able to have a gift option where you could buy a ship as a gift, like Steam does a gift option or Origin does a gift option, or actually they don't do a gift option. But
you can already gift the ships as it is, though.
Yeah, you can, but buying it as a gift, so it's immediately a gift. It's not like an immediate so it's a little different.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But if they were to do that, they would have to turn off probably once the gift gets to them, they can't gift it again or something like that.
But the problem is right now is if you gift a ship, and I think this is the case, is that if you gift a ship, you cannot melt that ship.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So the ability to gift the ship and that person goes, I don't like that ship. I need this extra money for this. They can melt it. And
what they could do is instead of ships, they could do some kind of swag. Like a Twitch T-shirt for your character or something like that you could give away,
nice.
Something like that.
Really cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. So we could put our Twitch logo or something like that on a shirt. Yeah, and you could wear it. Yeah. There you go. All right. So let's see. The next question here is from Derek Smart. How much Kool-Aid? How many ships did you buy during the anniversary sale?
Actually, 3. I bought 3.
I didn't buy any so far. I've melted down a couple and bought a couple from the melt.
But I only bought all 3 of them. I've given away 2, and one of them I'm going to give away. So I didn't buy any of the ships for myself. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bought 2. I bought the M50 that I've been playing around with buying for a long time because every time my rec runs out in the M50, I get another one and spend all my rec on it. So I figured it's about time I bought the thing. I also bought the Avenger Titan. I had the Titan previously. I gave it away, so I was just replacing it.
Donbro plays. So you're saying they don't allow streamers to advertise in the game. I don't want to sound like a dick here or anything like that. I'm just but a lot of the people that are playing StarCitizen now that are not they came from the streamers, right? So a lot of people that are playing the game right now came from watching a streamer play it, and so they might feel like I got into this game because of Clifford, or I got in this game because of WTF.
And there's plenty of other games out there like
H1Z1. H1Z1
does it. Yeah, H1Z1 does it. Rocket League does it.
T-shirts for H1Z1. They have Co-Carnage shirts in the game and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Rocket League has got flags. They've got gassy Mexican flags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a good way of showing support to the streamer and also for the community to get involved in it and all that.
As long as they're related to orgs, I don't feel like they'll break the canon of the immersive experience, and that would be the only concession I would agree with, as opposed to letting people do things carte blanche.
I mean, the thing is, anything can fit as long as it's not completely way out there. I mean, you're going to have Murray Cup T-shirts because you're just part of Murray Cup.
I mean, we already have there's the Arena Commander T-shirt you can buy in the store is actually in the game.
Exactly. So having something that's based off of some other thing you're entertained by. So say a StarCitizen related comic series, for example, you could have a comic related T-shirt because you just happen to be a comic book fan in the verse. Because the verse is a living, breathing universe. Like non-specific, like game-related stuff still fits because you're living this persona.
Yeah. Plus, there are very weird people in the future.
Yeah, awful strange. Can you get most of the ships without paying from? Yes, deceased. You only have to get this game for $35 to $45 depending on which ship package you get.
It's $45 now unless you get the anniversary pack.
Yeah, which that's what I got. That's what I ended up buying. I ended up buying 5 of the anniversary ones just to give away to people. Bought 2 Crucibles, all the Avengers. I think that's it.
All right, next question is from Headclot. On the topic of
I wanted to answer that last question.
What? How much
what ships you got?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said I already did. I'm sorry. I'm trying to scoot through. We got a lot of questions.
I didn't because I have the Mustang Omega. And
fanboy.
It's an awesome ship. And then during the anniversary sale, I was waiting for the Mustang Delta to go on sale. And so I bought the Alpha, the Beta, the Gamma, and the Delta. And now I have all the Mustangs.
All the Mustangs.
Fanboy. He's a consolidated Outland ship.
And I bought the Delta ship model. And I have the Alpha ship model from last year. And the last 3 ship models that need to happen already.
Who wouldn't? I mean, David Hobbins designed that ship.
He didn't design that ship, but he designed it
best
live.
Voice as well.
He designed it live. If you guys remember, they were doing the live cast, and he sat down and said, "Let's design a ship right now." And he's got
right there.
Clifford's got it right there.
Mr. Hobbins.
Well, that's Mr. Hobbins, but he basically he took a piece of plexiglass and he started drawing it on the plexiglass, and that became the Mustang. And it was just so cool. But we got to see it come from David Hobbins himself live like that. That was like kick ass. Yep. And we're flying it around now. If I can get in the game,
Hobbins, I'm a big fan.
Okay. So next question here on the topic of VR. Clifford can answer this one because he has one. How do you think SIG will handle death of VR? The current implementation might be very jarring for people in VR HMDs.
Death, I believe, is quite jarring.
It
could be very quiet and sort of subtle.
I mean, death in VR is going to be weird. It's going to be jarring because in reality, if I get shot with a bullet, I'm going to feel the bullet going through me, or I'm going to feel something that happens, and I'm going to probably feel the blast that'll knock me over or whatever. Mm-hmm. If I get shot in VR and I get knocked over, I'm sure it'll be vomit time because my character's going backwards and I'm still there, standing still, and I'm feeling vertigo. So
you can go even further, Zerker, and get you the VR, get you that chest thing that you can wear that vibrates where you get hit.
Yeah.
And then you can get the chair deal too. So then you're just like, oh shit, what the hell's going on? All over the place.
That stand-up thing is pretty awesome too. That thing you can run in now. I don't know if my big ass belly will fit in it, but
yeah.
I think what we'll probably see is like a wasted screen like we see in GTA. They're like kind of what they already have already, where you kind of go third person when you get killed. Mm-hmm, so it's like it's you die, but you get popped out in the third person. So it's not this sudden like fall over dead kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think they have to stabilize anyway because the difference with the screen is the screen you can have things like getting knocked around with a screen. It's not going to affect you. You have that with the headset on it's going to screw you up because you have that whole spatial awareness thing messing up the inner ear balance and all that sort of crud. So
it makes you kind of nauseous.
I think probably what's going to have to happen with that is that a lot of the animations that we see in most games, and StarCitizen is perhaps the worst culprit right now because head bobbing is sort of in a really funky place. It feels really janky right now when you're moving around. It's designed with a stationary screen in mind and not with VR in mind. So my expectation is that there'll be some slightly different movement when you're using VR, so that allows you to have some natural movement while still forcing you into some positions based on what's happening to you, so that it's not, you don't go into complete out of control mode where you're just like a passenger, a spectator in your own body.
Yeah, because their camera rig is more accurate than any other FPS game out there currently.
Yeah.
Well,
so much so that
actually
it gets a bit nauseous right now, even without wearing VR.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They could even the thing with VR is because you're so immersed, they can do things like if they just flash at various parts of the thing, you're naturally going to shy away.
Mm-hmm.
That's true
They can
too.
force you to make the reactions just by how they.
You're scaring the hell out of me right now. Oh God.
The
All right.
Panther.
Okay.
That is the scariest social experiment that has ever been attempted.
Ooh, next question.
Dark Seal Studios is asking, how many ships are enough ships created that you would need those 3D designers allocated to work on environmental assets? Personally, I think that we have enough ships to get a base game started. I'm ready for those developers to work on other items. How about you? How many ships would be too many? I just we've talked about this in previous StarCast, and I'll let you guys answer. But personally, they have the teams split up to where there are environmental artists that are better at environmental stuff than ship stuff. I don't really want those environmental guys necessarily messing around with the ships, because some people are really great at like textures, but they wouldn't be so great at textures on a ship, but they maybe make textures for walls or something like that. So they've already got them kind of divvied up by that kind of way anyway. But I don't think there's ever enough ships. They could have 5,000 fucking ships. I'd probably buy them all.
Yeah, to me, enough ships is enough ships to fill all the core roles for the game functions they have planned for the game, with potentially duplicates to give some choice. So it's not just that this is the ship you have to buy.
I can use this Mustang or this Mustang or this Mustang. Or this
And right now we don't have all the ships for all the functions. We still don't have the Crucible. We still don't have the mining ships, the Orion. We still don't have. There's lots of ships we don't have.
We need more space trucks.
So, but like you say as well, like the people who make ships aren't the people who make environments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even if you're thinking of concept-wise, I mean, they've already said that in December they're going to be the only thing that's left is like the Prowler, the variants for the Reliant. But even then, they still need to come up with in-betweens for mining, you know, because the Orion is such a massive ship. Well, you need the medium ship and you need the small ship, the starter-out mining ship. So they still got avenues they can explore as far as adding ships without, you know, shipception of, you know, getting so many ships that, you know, okay, guys, you need to concentrate on something else. I mean, there is a few more that they need to get out there, but like Dylan and everybody else has said, that Aaron's at the helm now, making sure the teams are accurately balanced. So
the problem is we also don't still have all the ships we're supposed to have for Squadron 42.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like we don't even have, like, the Bangle's not done, the escort carrier's not done, the none of the main capital ships are done, and we're not even talking about the alien capital ships.
Yeah.
Or any of the other alien ships. We haven't really seen any of the other ships. So we still have a long ways to go. Yes, in human space, we've got plenty of ships. That's fine. But we've got a lot of other things that were planned way before we had all these ships coming out, which are part of it. But again, they're not. We've got an entirely different pipeline for ships than we do everything else.
Yeah. All right. We have a caller calling in. Hey, caller, what's your name and what's your question?
Yeah, my name is Jedi Drifter.
Hey, Jedi Drifter.
And my question is, will we ever be able to upgrade use of our LTI concept sales ships to packages and keep the LTI?
No, I mean maybe, but I think it's just it's a lot of work that is for a very small part of the backing.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that's going to be a thing. It's a lot of work for. I mean, you buy a package of the $45, whatever the package is. The LTI ship's just an addition to that. If you bought an LTI ship without a package, I'm not sure how you could squeeze it in there without actually buying just the basic ship.
But I do see what he's saying. I've thought of that myself. I'm like, wait a second. I've got all these ships. Can I turn them all into packages? You know?
Yeah. Like that's what I have. I have a Delta and I have a 325A, which is not LTI, but my Delta is LTI because it was a holdover from an Aurora, and I wanted to get that turned into an LTI 325, but I can't because it's a package. Now, I think to a degree we don't really need that anymore. You can just melt the package and just kind of do the CCU on its own with the credits, because the packages no longer matter. Alpha status no longer matters. Everyone gets access to the game, no matter what time you back.
As long as your package has the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. One game package, and then you just
And also back to the discussion before, LTI isn't so valuable that you should use that as a basis for not making a change if you feel like you want to make a change.
Right. If you find a better ship that you want that doesn't have LTI, get the better ship that you want. The LTI is not worth it. All right. Thanks for the call. All right. Let's move on to the next question here. Do you think the gaming community today, as it is today, publishers, media, etc., do not want Star Citizen to succeed, as it would change the industry to a consumer-focused one rather than a profit-based one is now. Example, it would affect them in terms of player demand, more involvement than Star Citizen backers currently enjoy. Hold on. Let me pop in here real quick.
The conspiracy.
The conspiracy theory. But I will say this. There is a guy called Game Theorist, and he does these great videos on YouTube about game theory. Now, this necessarily, just hang with me for a second here. Right now, there's an industry change going on with media, okay? And this necessarily doesn't have to do with Star Citizen directly, but it will in a second, you'll understand. Right now with media, so years ago, you would turn on the radio and you'd listen to radio station XYZ, and they'd have their ad formats already set up, and they'd listen to the ad, go back to playing some music, talk show, whatever. And then you'd watch TV, and there would be a TV commercial in the beginning of the movie. They'd show a movie, it'd be like 1 or 2 commercials, and as you got close to the end, they'd cram them all in because you wanted to see the end of the movie, so you'd have to sit through all the commercials to get to the end. They had all these things worked out. They figured out how we worked. And then recently, over the past like 5-10 years, media creators like Total Biscuit, PewDiePie, these kind of guys have started taking over media outlets. And there's what? Biogen?
No, I was...
Keep talking.
Ignore me.
Okay, sorry. Anyway,
damn it.
So that's all right. So these guys are starting to take over media, and media companies are trying to figure out how can we get people back. Okay, because now what's happening is they're not watching our TV shows. They're watching these guys on Twitch. They're watching these guys on YouTube. They're not paying attention.
The cable.
We're cutting cable. I've cut cable. I don't have cable anymore. So
Same.
yeah, so they're losing out big time. And so one of the things they're doing is they're switching up the way they do things, and that is coming up with clickbait articles and things like that. So a reputable news organization, say something like ABC, I'm just using it as an example, say ABC will now have an online website, and the website will have a blog, and the blog will go, Star Citizen is a scam, and they're trying to rip off all their players, and here's why. And they'll thread together a bunch of very loose allegations of possible misconstrued money and all of this sort of stuff, right? It's complete bullshit. It doesn't directly accuse them, but it makes it sort of seem like that's what the case is that's going on. If you're on the fence, you're going to immediately go, oh my God, this is ABC, they're right. And you're going to go over there and be like, holy shit, and you're going to start telling all your friends. And they're going to go to that website and look at that link. Then also all of us Star Citizen people are going to go over there and go, what the fuck are you talking about? And write all these big diatribes about all this. But we're on that website the entire time writing this, watching the ads go by on the right side of the page. Ultimately, that is what it is. They're losing money in ad revenues in one place, and they're moving it to someplace else. Now, as far as what your question had to go with is, do you think gaming communities such as publishers, media don't want Star Citizen to succeed? Absolutely, and they're trying to figure out ways that they can get people to come to their shit instead of going to Star Citizen. So, sorry, that is
here's the problem, though. The rising tide floats all ships.
Right.
So if they know this, is game companies know that, especially good businessmen know, that you do not intentionally attack somebody who could be an asset later down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So no one wants to openly attack Star Citizen. You don't have the EAs and the Microsoft going after Star Citizen. In fact, in many ways, you have them trying to co-opt CIG to bring them into the fold, to try to make them feel like they're part of the big boys, and so that they can try to coerce them. Because, Sony sent them a PS4 dev kit for Star Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, maybe we'd love to see Star Citizen on the PS4. They obviously had no idea what the people with Star Citizen was. I know.
They got a free PS4?
They got a free PS4 out of it.
Oh, wait, hold on real quick. Calamari has won. Calamari, you need to type in exclamation point claim. Congratulations, Calamari.
Congratulations, Calamari.
Yep. Don't do it. I want to win it instead.
Too late. He got it. Congratulations, Calamari got it. Congrats, Calamari.
So they won't openly attack it. But of course, if Star Citizen succeeds, which already is a success and will continue to be a success, if it succeeds beyond or to the degree that Star Citizen fans and CIG hopes, it of course will change the industry, how the industry works. The industry is already changing is the problem, and the models that have been used for funding and the way that the industry treats its customers has always been. It's been up for debate, and this is the first chance that the community as a whole of gamers has a chance to basically go to do a Rude 3, do Rude 3.
Mm-hmm.
So let me
to the publishers who've been causing problems and who've been not listening to their fans, all that kind of stuff. And so, of course, this is scary for them to change. But I don't think there's no Illuminati trying to change Star Citizen or trying to make it fail. It's
no. It's.
I'd like to touch on this a little bit.
Yep.
So from what I've been seeing, this is pretty similar to what both of you have been saying. Is that you've got a lot of game journalists and game journalism websites, a lot of new ones that have been popping up too, and a lot of websites that didn't normally handle this when they did start popping up, like Vice and Vox, for instance, who are just starting to cover this new content because it's popular, and they're not necessarily really invested in having quality content as much as we've all seen as clickbait. What I've started to see is this shift. We all are noticing it. With a lot of indie titles that are starting to make huge waves, and Rebel Galaxy was a perfect example with $0 in marketing budget, and yet it was a top-selling game on Steam because they knew to talk to the right people, and the attention changed globally and where people were looking to get their game information. I think, personally, I'm of the opinion that what we're seeing with Star Citizen right now is probably safe for the most part, with very little exception, because a couple of people are looking to make some waves so they can try and look good for their bosses and make some money on a website that nobody cares about generally. But if Star Citizen gets to be as big as, let's say, Rebel Galaxy was in terms of hype, it's because of the scope of the game and what it offers. It could threaten the very existence of things that we all worry about, everybody, with things like paid reviews. When you see, a buggy game that has glitches and nothing works right necessarily for a lot of users right off the bat, and it gets 10 out of 10 from IGN, for instance.
10 out of 10.
We all question that. I'm not going to mention names in particular, but we've seen that happen throughout this year. I mean, yes, you could point out games even before that, and in 2015, it was the same case. I think that if Star Citizen threatens the existence of these kind of industries by making them irrelevant, which is a very big possibility, then we'll start to see the true nature of what at this time is really just a big suspicion about what these people working at these companies are about, because at the end of the day, it threatens their livelihood if they are no longer relevant. Because if nobody watches a news channel, there's no need for it to exist, and it can't make money because no advertisers, nobody's going to pay for advertising space on a place that nobody's going to
watch. Yeah,
right. So I think ultimately it is a big concern for us, and it's sort of tinfoil hat. But I'm more reserved about it because I accept that I could very well be in the wrong camp about this. But I'm very wary from what I've been seeing. Everything pointing up from the 90s to now. It's been a slow shrink to now. It's a very rapid landslide.
It is happening very quickly.
Yes, people ignoring news media almost entirely for their content, with the exception of people who at this time are not part of Star Citizen's market. And even then, a lot of people playing on consoles are starting to abandon that in lieu of YouTube and Twitch and other sites that are providing actual content for them to consume to make a better informed decision. It's refreshing from the perspective of a gamer looking for
a consumer.
A consumer of games looking for a cleaner market of information before making my purchasing decisions, but at the same time understanding business and other companies that have been competing in that same space for different niches where there is profit. A good
example of that is massively when it went under. Massively went under, and what did Massively do right before it went under? It slashed out and said that Star Citizen was going to be the biggest fail of 2015. It did. In 2014, they said the biggest fail of 2015 is going to be Star Citizen, because they knew they could get revenue from saying it was the biggest fail, and then they closed because there was no people not enough people were participating.
10-time hammer.
I think there were other reasons for Massively to go down, because their production company just screwed them.
No. I mean, there was lots of reasons why Massively went down, but you could see that mentality of we're going to try to do a little bit more clickbait articles.
That's just media, though, right? Media is all about clickbait now. It's no longer print press; it's internet press, and internet press is clickbait. But I have an idea.
Yes.
Do your own research and make it your own opinions.
Right,
which is the reason why YouTube and streaming are very popular, because all you have to do is watch a YouTube video or a streamer, and you can see the game somewhat unedited, or just basically see the game as it is live.
And if the streamer's playing it for several hours, he's not going to be totally overly biased about it either. You know, he'll give you the straight dope. I've played some games where I fucking hate them, and I'll tell people that they suck.
I think this actually comes back to our previous discussion. I think one of the most important things we can do as influencers and StarCitizen streamers is not to be kind of raging fans, not to be completely zealous, to give a balanced opinion on everything and give people the facts and let them make their decisions.
Yep. That's
We'll fill the niche that popular mass media has been failing to do so.
Balanced opinions. What?
All right, we got to move on, guys.
I demand blind, zealous obedience to CIG.
Even zealous,
blind, zealous,
or flaming hate.
All right,
you mean you're not going to sell me paid advertising? I'm supposed to get my pre-consumed media.
We got to end up. We got to get a couple more minutes, guys. So let me just real quick get a couple questions. Real first one: who the fuck is Blizzard 01? This is from Disco Lando.
Disco Lando.
Yeah.
Disco Linda. I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no fucking idea who I am.
Have we prayed to Christ Roberts today?
No.
I have not done any Hail Sandies recently.
I couldn't, because yesterday I gave Fluffy all the praise yesterday. So.
No, is that why he's all sticky looking? Okay.
Hey. That was uncalled for, Domo.
No, it was completely called for. Let's see. Head Clout wants to know: did any of us plan on participating in Operation Pitchfork? If so, what do you plan on doing? Okay. For those of you who are raising your hands, explain what Operation Pitchfork is. For those of you who might not know.
Zerk knows better than me.
Go ahead.
So Operation Pitchfork started off this crazy idea. Say, hey, in beta we're going to get wiped anyway, so let's see what we can do. See how far we can go into Vandal space. Then we found out that there wasn't going to be a wipe at beta. There's not a plan to wipe at beta, and they said, screw it. Let's just see how far we can go in Vandal space. And then it's kind of developed over time. A lot of people like this idea, and it's become this massive movement within the community. The concept is that they're going to take people who are, in lore, tired of the Vandal winning all these battles, and that the UEE is not really taking it seriously, and they're just kind of letting the Vandal win. And they're going to push back against the Vandal and try to retake some systems which used to be human-controlled, but were abandoned because of the Vandal. If you want to get a good idea of like the kind of feelings that they have, watch the Bishop speech video. It's very similar. Like the rhetoric is almost identical to Pitchfork. And so Pitchfork is the idea that no matter who you are, if you're a pirate, if you're a mercenary, if you're a smuggler, whatever you do, you can pitch into this war effort, as it were, this civilian run, this people's crusade, as it were, to try to retake the Vandal systems. A lot of people are for it, a lot of people are against it, but they need all sorts of people, from people who are just truckers to ferry supplies to the front. They need medics to be able to to heal people who are down. They need fighter pilots. They need crew members on large ships. They need bombers, fighters, every ship in between.
Whole kit and caboodle.
Whole kit and caboodle. So it's like think of it as kind of like an army of players who are going to be fighting against NPC Vandal.
All right. So there you go. Real quick, next question from Gaius Freeman wants to know: thus far, StarCitizen has been as a clusterfuck of unprovoked violence, and that's okay. Do you gentlemen anticipate the death mechanics and game systems changing over time? Will there be player interaction before player versus player, or will old ingrained PvP culture and habits dominate? I keep hearing aspiring pirates say they want to kill a pilot, steal the ship, and destroy the escape pods. Do you think this attitude will shift? Sort of.
I think the more that the NPCs will start dogging you because you potted a civilian. There's a good piece of lore that they put out, and it's always good idea to just figure out what they're trying to do when they put out a piece of lore, because that lore will kind of tell you what it's like. Mm-hmm. And the lore, one of the lore of the piece, it was a pirate who was talking about how he was going to hunt down the son of a bitch who's potting and destroying these civilian ships, because he's been destroying these civilian ships instead of taking their goods, and he's been causing a lot of the UEE to start paying attention to his area. And so now even traders, even freelancers are flying with like 4 or 5 Hornet escorts, and it's a suicide run to try to pirate in the area. So it's, if you're a psychopath, you're going to get treated like a psychopath. And even in criminal organizations, if there's a psychopath operating in like the mob's area, the mob is going to get involved and probably kill you because you're fucking with their shit.
And you got to bear in mind, historical piracy, killing the people and sinking the ship was the worst way. The black flag, the black, was meant to instill fear into the crew so they give up, not to go in there and fight them. A successful pirate raid involves 0 combat and 0 bloodshed. It's just them giving up.
Anyone who's doing the actual attacking is going to start learning, A, it doesn't make any money, which you need to have, and B, being a psychopath is going to make you very, very open to a lot of scrutiny from NPCs and players, and C, the best way of winning is to not fire a shot.
Yeah. You also got to bear in mind that right now we have 0 death mechanic, so it's crazy. Yeah. But we have 0 death mechanic, we have 0 influence system, 0 reputation system, 0 consequence. Yeah. When they put those systems in, it's going to change completely.
When you die for the 3rd time and you've been blown, your arms and legs have been blown off so many times that now you're dead, and you have to spawn all the way on the other side of the galaxy from where all of your ships were parked and all of your other stuff.
And you have to pay like 15% of tax on all the stuff you have.
I am so screwed.
We are not going to be. You're not going to be seeing. The internet is full of psychopaths. That is absolutely true. But if they make the game so difficult that you don't even want to fuck around and do it, it's better off just to kind of work together. Then I think that'll be great. There's an excellent example of this.
Work together as psychopaths.
Exactly.
It should be pushed to the fringes. They shouldn't get rid of it completely.
No, not
because it's
completely,
a vital aspect of the game.
But you still have to deal with the people who are absolutely
push it to the fringes.
There's a game called Life is Feudal, which causes everyone to have to work together. You have to play together. And if you don't play together in Life is Feudal, then you live by yourself. You're not going to get much stuff done. And so that's kind of the same way in StarCitizen.
It's boring without cooperative investment. So.
And also in StarCitizen, people forget that there's not going to be this unlimited amount of missiles that you can fire upon a person, because you got to think each one of those missiles is going to cost you money.
Yep.
Now, do you want to shoot that missile?
Cost you money. Yeah.
Because it's like all these weaponry bullets that you get is not costing us really anything now, but in the verse, people are going to be more thoughtful of, okay, I got an Idris, it's full loaded to the brim with about a million worth of UEC in it, that we need to make for damn sure when we fire those missiles, we hit our targets, because I want that cost to count something, to mean something.
And if you're hitting that target, it better be something that's dangerous. It better not be some, Joe Schmo on the sidelines,
Yeah. All right. And as a victim, it's worthwhile just letting them take, because they're not going to necessarily, if you're on a massive hauling ship and they've come along in the Cutlass, they can only take so much cargo.
Yep.
I think so much is going to fit. So just say, take your fill, and we'll lose like 20% of our cargo for this run. We'll take that hit because we don't want to die.
If they've got a Cutlass and they don't want to take the entire ship, just give them a couple of pieces of your thing if you're on a Hall Eek. Who cares? Real quick, we just want to cover the last question real quick. We got to end up here. This is a question from Raiku Wazoo. More of a hardware question, a feature question. If you had approximately $5,000 to create a custom setup for immersion, what some features you would see as a must? Triple monitors, HOTAS, dual joysticks, even CPU tiers, anything hardware. This will go around the room real quick and tell me what your dream system would be. Clifford's already spent that much on his. I would like to at least have 3 monitors, which I already have. But as far as for me, I want a trucking setup. So I want a yoke with all of the SciTech little doodads and stuff that go with the yoke. They make all these little things
and stuff like that.
Yeah, the little multifunction displays, all those little things that snap on. If you go to Amazon, type in SciTech yoke system or whatever, SciTech flight system. Look at that stuff. There's some crazy shit out there. All right, who's next? Biogen, go. What would you do with $5,000?
Okay. With 5,000, I wouldn't be enough, but I would try to start with VR with the Virtuix Omni track movement system thing, and some kind of a suspension system that could also track my movement in 3D for EVA and piloting. That's really difficult, but something awesome. Like a 3D cockpit, maybe.
What if you had like earplugs in and you had one of those like duct fan things that would blow you up into the air so you could sort of like you're floating? with a headset. That'd be awesome. All right, you go ahead, Mr. Berserker.
If I had that, I'd probably build a full cockpit with displays, a full closed-in cockpit, so for full immersion, awesome. And with everything I need to do. I already pretty much got a rig, my fantasy rig. I just need a little bit more power to it. But so it's something like that, so I could climb into my cockpit and fly the actual ship. So.
All right, Flint, go.
So I won't get a whole system, won't get a whole cockpit. What I do is that there's a special gadget you can get that costs many $1,000s, maybe more than $1,000. I'm not sure exactly, but it takes the view from the Oculus and it does some video encoding to put it back to a normal screen. What that would allow me to do is have the Oculus and the normal screen running at the same time. I would then make a replica UE helmet, have the Oculus in it with headsets, so that when I go into flight mode, I stick on the helmet and have the full Oculus experience. When I get out of the ship, I can take it off and just run around in normal FPS with my normal screen.
That's cool. That'd be good. All right, Cliffy, go.
The only thing I would probably buy is probably the Oboto rigging that I've seen Linus Tech Tips do on, where it's all made out of pipe hard metal, and you put your 3 displays on it, and then it has a swivel out for your keyboard, mouse, has a swivel in for your HOTA set up, and you can swivel it away from you, and that to me is all I need is the framing setup. That's really all I need.
If Clippy had 5K, he already spent that much on just hard drives yesterday. Okay, let's go around the room. Everybody, Biogen, where can people watch you at?
You can watch me at twitch.tv/BiogenX2B, or you can be lame and not do that, which is your choice, because I'm not your real dad and I can't tell you what to do. But I stream a number of different games, Legacy of Kain and StarCitizen so far. I'm doing Blood Omen right now, which is old as shit, but go do things on the internet.
All right, cool.
Maybe I'll see you.
Berserker, go.
Berserker1 on Twitch, Berserker1 on Twitter. I run The Station, which is a nightly live stream, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to midnight on Fridays. And I do a morning on Saturdays, 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. Of like a story game, like I've done Mass Effect. We do Star Citizen main focus, but we also do tons of different space games, Elite Dangerous, Kerbal Space Program, that kind of stuff. So.
All right, cool. Next up, Mr. Flint, go.
I am Captain Flint, Captain_Flint on Twitch, Captain_Flint on Twitter. All the rest of my links are on my Twitch page, so just check that out. I stream pretty much every day. I am a variety streamer who spends 95% of the time playing Star Citizen. The Story Sundays are like the longest day, from 2 to 11. I'm going to do that tomorrow. We're playing Uncharted 3. But that's pretty much me. Just come by, say hello.
Awesome. And last but not least, Mr. Clifford, a.k.a. Miku, go.
Yeah, Clifford _, a.k.a. Miku on Twitch, Clifford _Miku on Twitter, and same on the YouTubes. And I just play a little bit of everything.
on the tubage?
Huh?
On the YouTubage?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. Let's see. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to right now go raid somebody on the way out. We're going to do a StarCast raid. We're going to go raid a smaller streamer, which is always the most fun, I think. Mr. Anarchos, who's been around this channel quite a few times. There we go. Let's go over there and say StarCast raid, and I'll host him as well. Thank you, everybody, for coming by tonight. Congratulations to Calamari, who's the winner of the ship. Make sure you contact Clifford. You guys can work that out.
He got it.
You got it already? Good. Thank you so much, Clifford, for the donation and all that. Appreciate that. Have a good night, guys. We will see you all next week. Remember, it's nice to be important, but more important to be nice. See ya.
Good night.
Night.
Thanks for having me.